It's time for an update, man. I think it's time for an update on my UFC top 15 GOAT list. And let me just say this real quick. My last list, it wasn't the best, It wasn't thought out the best. This time I actually sat there, I thought it out. Some people's placement changed, and not only because of recent performances. Like, recent performances did put some people who weren't even on my list now at some good places. But also I just didn't like my placement and my explanations, but we're going to patch it up here, guys. We're going to patch it up here. This is going to be a real good list. You got to trust me, brother. Trust me, Ilya Maxing. But I do believe this is a top 15 best MMA fighters of all time. And I'm going to give you the most beautiful reasoning so you understand where I'm coming from, brother. So without further ado, let's get into my criteria, because you have to have a criteria. My criteria is not going to be the same as yours, and maybe vice versa. So I don't know your criteria, but let me tell you mine. So after you look at this criteria, you're going to understand the placements a lot better. Number one, resume. Your resume matters the most to me. Your name value. Who are you beating? Like, I want to see who you're beating. Are you beating fucking Billy Bob over there, like from Antarctica? Or are you beating like an iconic person, who's running through the UFC? And how are you beating them? Dominance is my number two. So number one and number two almost go into sync, because what's your resume like? And when you beat these top guys, are you like scraping out a split decision robbery? Or are you actually going there and changing their face, brother, smashing them? So resume and dominance matter a lot to me, personally. And then three, I said title accolades, but they're not huge. So when I look at title accolades, it's if, like, say someone has a really similar resume with someone else, then I'm like, okay, they have a similar resume, so let's go to the dominance part. Then I look at who's dominating the top opposition. Is the other guy like dominating, like by knockout, destroying them, and then this other guy is just going to decision with them? Like, so that's why resume is number one. And then if the resume is tied, I'll go to dominance, and if the dominance is tied, then I'll go to accolades, and I'll see, like, okay, they're just good at everything, but who has the more accolades? And that's what I'm going to do to decide it, if it comes down to that. So without further ado, I need to get into some honorable mentions, because some people miss my top 15 list who need to be acknowledged, and it's these guys. Aldo, because he beat Cejudo, Jan, TJ, and Corey. That's just a beautiful resume, so I feel like I have to acknowledge him honorably. Stipe Miocic, I'm sorry, man. He was on my last list, but after some reflecting and thinking, he's an honorable mention. He could be in the top 15. Every honorable mention are allowed to be in this list, but they just didn't quite make the cut for me based on my criteria. Of course, Stipe beat DC twice, but now that I think of it, DC was over like 42, damn near 44. He was out, like he wasn't in his prime. Like, it's a great win. Don't get me wrong, but you're beating up an old DC, man. And then the Ngannou win, like an immature Ngannou, he got him. That was great. Then Overeem, JDS, etc., etc. Then I have to Poirier as an honorable mention, just because I like his resume. It's really good. Max, Volk, Bryce Mitchell, Zala, Jay Herbert. Some of them aren't like big names. And Max and Volk back to back, brother. I don't think there's any better back to back win in UFC history than fucking Max and Volk. That's crazy. But they are honorable mentions. There are some other honorable mentions that didn't make the list, like, I guess Charles, you could say, or something. I don't know. It depends what people think. But these are the three honorable mentions I wanted to acknowledge, because I actually almost put every single one of them top 15, etc., etc. But starting off with the number 15 spot, we got Francis Ngannou. Now, going back to my criteria, I value resume the most. I look at Stipe's resume, like name value. Him and Ngannou almost have the same exact names. The only significant difference is Ngannou beat the new generation as well. Stipe kind of only beat the older generation. Ngannou beat both. And on top of that, I look at how the fights go. Francis Ngannou has more dominance, in my opinion. I think knocking out people in the first round is very dominant. So he dominates people more impressively than Stipe Miocic, in my opinion. So that's why I have Francis Ngannou up. If other people, my criteria makes sense why Ngannou's up. But if your criteria number one is title defenses and title, you're gonna have Stipe first. I just don't value title defenses probably as much as you do, which is why Francis Ngannou here, which is a perfect explanation. Oh my God, what an explanation by me. But yeah, look at his resume: Stipe Miocic, Cyril Gane, Curtis Blades, Overeem, JDS, Rosenstrike, Pereira, and the PFL. He beat a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? His only loss is Stipe, and I said Lewis. I guess the Lewis fight should have been a draw. It was like, bro, nothing happened in that fight. It was just dumb. And then I said he beat the new gen and old gen, unlike Stipe, who just beat the old gen. And then, like, I feel like Stipe and Francis were both at their best when they fought each other the second time. I think Stipe was coming off back-to-back wins against DC at the time. But then Ngannou kind of just made it look easy and got him out of there. And I said champ in two promotions. This is the MMA GOAT list, all right? So, like, he's doing MMA and PFL, and he's still being a champ over there. So if you're champ in two promotions like that, I'm going to applaud that as well. So overall, in MMA career sphere, no one can argue that Francis has a better MMA career. The UFC argument could just go if you like title defenses more. But overall, I do think Francis Ngannou should be number 15, and he should be ahead of Stipe Miocic. But like I said, this is your call in the comments. You could be like, oh, but I liked how Defenses more. Sure, if you do, you're going to put Stipe ahead of Francis. That's no brainer. But if you value what I value, which is resume and dominance, Ngannou, brother, dale. That's my number 15 spot. So moving on to the number 14 spot. I got Jose Aldo. Now, people might be upset with the placement, but like, listen, he's not a bad fighter. This is his best wins are Frankie Edgar, good fighter. Chad Mendes, good fighter. The Korean Zombie, good fighter. Moicano, good fighter. Chito Vera, good fighter. Jeremy Stevens, Rob Font. You know, they're fighters. Like I said, resume is the number one. I'm not saying this is a great resume. Like all those names I named, are they any of them champion other than Frankie Edgar? No, but you know, they're cool people. They're cowabunga, dude. Then I said losses elite fighters. I don't want to get into it. Every time he goes against a really elite fighter, in my opinion, he kind of loses. But it's not like Jan's great. You know what I'm saying? So it's not his fault. Merab, they're great fighters. Like, you know. So Mario Batista, who Batista Maxim was bullshit. But like, you get the point. Most of it is elite fighters and Mario Batista. I should say elite fighters and Mario Batista. But it's just that, like, you know, his pinnacle, once it was kind of over, it was over. But he would still beat people like Martinez, but then he would just lose to other people who would just have somewhat of great skill, in my opinion. So he's good. And I said 15-fight win streak. In the UFC, I think he had 7 or 8, something like that. But majority was in WEC. But like I said, he's not I gotta acknowledge in top 14. I see people putting him like top 5, and I get it. Like, you guys like value Frankie Edgar and Chad Mendes as really great wins. I'm not saying they're not great wins, brother. This is different, brother. This is different level to this, brother. This is my opinion, brother. But I'm gonna put him 14 because I still think he has to be acknowledged in the top 15. You like or you don't like, I have Jose Aldo here, and he's still great, and he's still fighting. You know, he's still fighting. You never know. Maybe he gets a belt. he's not getting a belt. Maybe, you don't know though. You can't say the future, but I do got Jose Aldo, brother, at number 14. Going on to number 13 though. Alex Pereira. In my other list, I had him really high, and I did some reflecting. I guess it was like I started to realize something. His resume, man, outside of the Izzy win, shay caramba, brother. Like, Izzy win, great. Yuri twice was good. Like, Yuri is a good fighter. I'm not saying Yuri's a bad fighter. In his last fight, he looked better. I think people overrate Yuri's last fight just because, like, he looked good. Don't get me, that slip and rip, man. This guy he was doing work, but I think the light heavyweight division sucks right now, and I think Jamal Hill is really, he's not good, man. He's not good. Like, the way he fights, like, it's just weird to me. Lack of movement, and then Yuri's lack of defense. But great win. You know, Yuri twice, good win. Hill, that very close decision against Jan. That wasn't very dominant, but it was, you know, he got the edge. You know, they gave him the win. The Strickland win at the time was like, it wasn't that great of a win. Like, that's the same Strickland who was losing to Cannonier. I'm not saying Jay Cannonier sucks. I think Jay Cannonier is a great fighter, but you know, good resume. But I think 2 division champs what carries him. Some people are gonna be upset that, like, how is Ilya behind him? How's Ilya on the brush? How's Aldo? You know what I'm saying? How are these guys not even ahead of Pereira? But I do think the 2 division champ helps him out a lot. And the Izzy win. Izzy's an all-time great. You beat Izzy, brother, dollar, brother. You know, you got to respect this. This is my opinion, brother. And his only loss is Adesanya. Real bad man you get. But yeah, other than that, bro, Pereira, great fighter, man. Like, yeah, rock on, dude. He's good. If he beats Ink Alive, I'm gonna go on his field and say, I'm gonna even fast track him. So I think I might even put him top 6, top 5. If he like beats him in dominating fashion, absolutely. That's how much I would be impressed if he were to beat Magomed Ankalaev. I don't think it's gonna happen, but if he does prove me wrong, he's gonna jump. Like, some wins could jump you, like skyrocket you up a list. This is one of those wins. I think if Alex Pereira were to beat Ink Alive, he would skyrocket up. This is my opinion. People are going to disagree, but I think Ink Alive is going to be the first time he fights someone who is going to do more than striking or has the ability to strike, like, do more than striking. Izzy kickboxer, Yuri kickboxer, Jamal Hill striker, Jan Blachowicz striker, Sean Strickland striker. Jan Blachowicz wrestled in the fight, but he's a primary striker, you know. Like, Alex Pereira is the only UFC champion I know who never got a diverse opponents. But you know, UFC built him up right. They made sure to go like strikers only. I like it. I respect it, but yeah, it leads to a little bit of a lackluster resume in my opinion. But yeah, I'm going to say 13. Still going to give him respect. Still going to give him flowers. I do think he's top 15 all time. Moving on to number 12 spot. We got Henry Cejudo. Cejudo is the better double champ out the 2. They're both double champs, of course. But Cejudo's win against DJ, I think, is better than the win over Adesanya. his win over Adesanya was great. I will say, like, he was down 3-1 and then made a comeback. But, Cejudo, it was a close fight with DJ. But DJ just on his win streak, like, looking like unbeatable. And then Cejudo comes in here and stops him. Then his win over TJ, I'm going to like it. I know people, oh, dude, TJ was so skinny, dude. TJ made the weight cut. He made the weight and he just got out. He got bullied, And then Dominic Cruz, that's a good one. Oh, but Dominic Cruz took time off. It is what it is. Moraes was actually a really great win. Sergio Pettis, great win as well that no one really talks about as well. And the big thing why he's ahead of Pereira, they're both double champs with like resumes. Like they have a really good one and the rest is kind of However, he was a simultaneous double champ, held both at the same time, and he defended both belts. Pereira tried to defend his belt. Izzy just like had different plans. And then his only losses are DJ and Benavidez before he retired. And then he retired, then came back, and then fought against Merab and Aldo, who are two really good fighters. Like, to be fair, and he had a really competitive fight with Aldo. Merab, he won the first round, but then Merab started doing Merab things. Cejudo's actually not bad. Like, the fact that he, like, made Aldo look like that and arguably won against Aldo, who's one of the best, and we see what Aldo did against, like, people like Movzar. Like, Cejudo's really good. And then Merab, like, he beat Merab the first round and then kind of, like, got outworked. But that's what Merab does to everyone after we just see Merab's performance against Umar. Cejudo's good. I still think he's good, but he's just old now. Like he should have retired and left it at that. The Aldo fight made sense because he had a chance there on paper, but Merab, looking back at it, damn, Merab's just a different beast. But you got to respect Cejudo. I do think he was a better double champ than Pereira, and you can't argue that because, like I said, defending both belts. And I do think DJ's a better one than Izzy. This is my opinion, but let me know what you guys think down below. I'm curious what people are gonna say. Dude, I didn't know can he do Pereira though, man. I don't know. He might have beat less skilled opposition, but he's just more cool to me. I respect him, brother. Cool or not cool, facts point to Cejudo being better based on my criteria. But let's go on to number 11. Anderson Silva. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. If you're a big Anderson Silva guy, just my criteria, man. My criteria. Resume first, like name value, and then how dominant. He was dominant, so I'm gonna reward him a little bit, but it's a little bit lackluster name value. It's not his fault though. He's fighting substitute teachers. It was just like his era wasn't all that great. But he beat Henderson, Griffin, Franklin, and then Sonnen twice. Those are probably his best wins on paper. But yeah, his losses, I just said it's okay, brother. It's okay, brother. Don't worry, brother. You don't have to talk about losses, brother. You win, you lose, brother. This is the game. I'm not gonna go talk about his losses because I'm gonna feel bad. I think he was like 1-8 in his last 9 fights. But listen, when you get to a certain age, I start to like not look at your losses. Like, you're losing, who cares, dude? Like, it doesn't really matter. And then he has the longest UFC win streak, so let's respect him. Don't say, dude, so Kenny, why is Silva even on the list? Brother, respect this guy, one of the best middleweights of all time, so respect him. This is my opinion. But I wish if he broke his leg and came back and won the title again, he would be way higher. But he never came back the same, unfortunately. I feel bad. He still beat Derek Brunson in the midst of that like losing streak. So Derek Brunson, and then Derek Brunson went on like a blonde Brunson run after that. It was so weird. I don't even get that win sometimes. But Anderson Silva, I do have a number 11, just missing out in the top 10. But now we're in the top 10 MMA fighters of all time, brother. This is where it gets intense. This is where you start to see the shifts in levels and stuff, and start to see who's the real bad man in the MMA. And the number 10 spot who makes the cut is Merab Dvalishvili, baby. Yes, we're in it. We made it, chat. We did it. Dale, brother. Dale. All right. Merab Dvalishvili, bro. This resume, perfection, brother. Umar, great win, and that was his hardest win. Sugar Sean O'Malley, former champ. Jan, former champ. Cejudo, former double champ. Was Moraes ever interim champ? I don't know. And then Aldo, former champ. Dude, this guy's resume, like, it might be the best like top 3 resumes of all time. Like, I'm not even trying to be like glazed or something. Like, this might be like top 5 or top 3 resumes of all time. So he could even be higher, because he's crazy. His resume is really good. His dominance is really good. Like, he lacks like the title stuff, but that's normal. He has a title defense now, and it's against Umar. Better than Sugar having a title defense against Cheeto. Like, there's a difference in like title defenses in this bantamweight weight class. Yeah, but once he gets one more title defense, I might shoot him from 10 to like 5, depending who the title defense is, bro. He's so good, bro. He's so good. Bro, there's people in the world who think I don't like Merab because I made that video. I'm just too honest sometimes, but it's all good. Like I said, the Umar fight is very close. I personally saw 1, 2, and 3 Umar, but like I said, it wasn't a robbery because Merab did a good job like playing to the crowd and like outworking and making Umar show weird body language. But I love Merab, and I'm so glad he's finally at that point of his career, bro, that people can't be talking about him no more. Can't say no negative stuff, brother. He's like one of those hard workers. He's not even the most skilled at anything. He's just like, brother, let me out-Carter you, brother. This is what I think. So, yeah, and his losses are early career flukes, bro. Like fucking Ricky Simone, all these fake. Bro, he didn't tap. Well, he didn't tap And he wasn't out, technically. He was doing a little bicycle workout, man. He was getting guillotined while doing bicycle, dude, and then they stopped the fight. And then in his very first fight was a robbery. Like, he won that fight, and it was split decision, went the other way, so... Weird, man, weird. Never really lost. Technically 0 losses, in my opinion. But I am going to say Merab Dvalishvili, welcome to the top 10. I really want to put him a little higher, but you're going to see the people above him are like, they're kind of nasty too. And they're just a little bit more established as champions. But like I said, Merab, bro, give him time, bro. This guy could even be fucking number 1 of all time. Like, if him and Umar run it back and he beats Umar, this guy would never lose in the rest of his life. You know, this is my opinion. But let's go to the number 9 spot. We got Alexander Volkanovski. My first list, I think I put him like 13th. And I did some thinking. Like, listen, his resume is a little bit padded with one guy. Oh, he beat this guy, but he did it 3 times. Here's my thing with rematches. I respect rematches, you know, because they have to happen. However, this rematch was a little bit, I was like, yeah, like, you have his number, dude. The second fight was controversial. Arguably lost that one, so I understand it. But it's like, yes, you beat Max Holloway 3 times. Great accomplishment. Let's move on from that. He beat Aldo as well. Was it prime Aldo? No, but did he beat Aldo? Is that a good win? Absolutely. Chad Mendes, you know, that's a good one. Korean Zombie, a little, well, a lot a bit old, but it's the Korean Zombie. It's a cool name, you know. TKZ is cool to look at on a resume. And then Yair, who I always thought was overrated, and Ortega, who I also always thought was overrated. But at the time, the Ortega win was really good. The Yair win at the time was really good too, because he won the interim belt, I believe. So yeah, those are good wins. They like, don't worry about aging wins, chat, because at the time these guys were really good. So I am gonna give Volk his credit. His only losses are Islam twice, and then Taporia, of course, got knocked out by both. And then not a very close fight, but he had a competitive fight, a competitive duel with Islam. But Islam's a real bad man, you get me, bro. So he got that done. And then 6 championship wins in his career with 5 championship defenses. So yeah, Volkanovski's good, man. I didn't want to put a picture. You guys know that one picture of him with the green pants where he looks like a little bit chubby and bloated? I couldn't be asked, man. I couldn't do that to him, man. So I give him like a little bald Volk. He kind of looks weight drained in this picture. I don't know why, but this is the picture I gave him to show him some respect, brother. He deserves respect. This is my opinion. So, yeah, I do have him number 9, which is a jump from my last list because I did some thinking. I want to respect Volk. I love my guy, Volk, you know. Deserves number 9, deserves to be acknowledged as top 10. Now, with the number 8 spot, Israel Adesanya. Now, he was number 6 in my last list. Now he's number 8. I did some thinking. Yeah, and I think this is the right place to put him for now. I do have him ahead of Volkanovski, and I'm going to explain it why. So, I personally think beating Pereira is better than beating Max. I know you're going to be like, but he beat Max 3 times. I already said my take on, like, rematches. Like, Max is nothing but the Robert Whittaker of his division. Let me explain it. When Robert Whittaker was champion, he beat Romero twice. It was almost like he was that guy. Then Izzy comes in. Izzy takes him over. Then Izzy beats him again after that. Like, let me explain it like this. There's stuff that this... People I call second placers. Like, you guys ever know people who's just second place in the division? That was Max to Volk, and that was Izzy to Whittaker. Izzy beat Whittaker multiple times. Matter of fact, I think Izzy beat Whittaker more impressively than Volkanovski's best win against Max, which was the 3rd fight. Because the first fight against Izzy and Whittaker, Izzy like demolished him and knocked him out. And the second fight, he beat him by points. So I just think Whittaker and Max Holloway. I know Max Holloway's greater all time. But I honestly believe that, like, they're nothing but second place fighters. So Izzy beat a second place fighter twice, and then he beat a Pereira who's like only ever lost once in the UFC. Max Holloway lost a bunch of times. Like, we can compare Pereira to like Aldo or anything, but Pereira is ahead of them, you know, in my opinion. So yeah, I just think overall his resume was better. And of course, Costa at the time undefeated, 15-0, I believe 15-0 before that fight. Beating Romero, Johnny Hendricks by TKO, Uriah Hall TKO, all these guys. And then he just embarrasses Costa. Then Cannonier at the time, of course, good, riding good win streak, and then he just gets destroyed by Izzy, 50-45. Romero win, he beat Romero. Was it lackluster because Romero didn't want to fight? Yes, but it's all good. Brunson win, good. Silva, I spelled Silva's name wrong, Silva. Yeah, he beat Silva, who's old as hell. Come and got some great win. Then Victoria twice. You know what's weird about the Victoria win? The first time they fought, Victoria's running a crazy win streak, then lost. Second time they fought, Victoria was running a 6-fight win streak, then lost. Victoria was actually not bad. Like, he was just running through everyone until Izzy. It was almost like he was the Whittaker for a little bit. But after the second Izzy loss, Victoria started fighting other people like Whittaker and stuff, started losing. But yeah, Victoria was like abnormally good every single time, or before he fought Izzy every single time. But every time he meets Izzy, he just would lose. It was weird. But yeah, in his losses, Strickland, Pereira, and Leon Blachowicz. Strickland beat a hurt Izzy. All right, man. Strickland beat a hurt Izzy, dude. That is what it is. Strickland got the win over Izzy. Pereira made a 3-1 comeback. Great win. came back against one of the greatest fighters like Izzy all the time and got the knockout. And then Jan Blachowicz is a big boy, laid on him. And then 8 championship wins, 5 defenses, and a 2x champ. If you look at Volk's thing, he was a 6 championship wins with 5 defenses. So Izzy had more championship wins, the same amount of defenses, and he was a 2-time champ. Volk was a 1-time champ. This is the differential. What did I say? If I said if the resume is similar, the dominance is similar. They weren't really finished. Izzy was a better finisher than Volk, but like they both had like master classes over the course of like 5 rounds, like Izzy versus Tavares, Izzy versus Cannonier, just like Volk versus Max Holloway the 3rd time, and he has some other ones. But my point is, like, when the resume is similar, the dominance is similar, you got to look at championship accolades, and facts don't care about opinions. And the facts of the situation is Izzy was a more accomplished champion. So let's just get that straight. You guys know Izzy's better now. I know the comments, no matter what, still going to be like, oh, but I like Volk better. It's cool. You could like him better. But I do think Izzy's a respectful number 8. Now, moving on to number 7. Islam Makhachev. I got him ahead of Izzy this time. I do think he surpassed Izzy, I guess you could say. You know, he's just been looking like one of the best fighters of all time. Volk twice, Charles, Dustin, Dan Hooker, Moicano on the list now, and Bobby Green. Bobby Green's like, all right, relax, buddy. He's like a Michael Johnson-esque win. That's a good win. Bobby Green knocking out fucking Grant Dawson and then fucking, you know. So yeah, great wins. Only loss was the Pantoja fluke, bro. The Pantoja incident, man. Bullshit, man. And then 5 title wins, 4 title defenses. But he has 15-fight win streak, which is tied for the second all-time, tied with Kamaru Usman. So I do think Adesanya. Of course, Adesanya's a more accomplished champion, but like Islam resume is arguably a little bit more complete than Izzy's. And then, you know, yeah. And then like he's second all time for the win streak. That's really what I put him ahead of Izzy for, because he got another win. The win was against Moicano. I know Moicano's not the best, but it's just adding history to Islam. So congratulations, Islam. You surpassed Izzy, man. And yeah, unless Izzy becomes champion again, I don't think he's going to surpass Islam from here on out. Islam's on the way to being number 1 all time. Everyone's just in the way. Now, who's ahead of Islam? The number 6 spot is the guy he's tied with the win streak, Kamaru Usman. The reason I say this is that I look at Islam's best wins. I look at Usman. I just think Usman has a deeper depth in his win streak. Prime Woodley, he like 50-44'd him. Chat, prime Woodley, keep in mind. People forget how good Woodley is. Just do your research. Destroyed him. Kobe twice. Prime Kobe was a different breed. Prime Kobe was like the Max Holloway. Like, you know the second place fighters we're talking about? Whitaker, Max Holloway, and now Kobe. Kobe was really good. People nowadays don't know how good Kobe is, and I get it. It happens. Like, when the older I get, I know the more people are going to forget about people who used to be like kind of decent back in the day. I feel like an old head saying that. I'm only 22. All right. But yeah, Kobe was really good at the time. Gilbert Burns was running like a 6-fight win streak, looked like a killer, man. And then he even dropped Usman, made Usman go through adversity. Usman finished him. Jorge Masvidal twice. People hate on this. People are forgetting. He was running a 3-fight beautiful win streak, bro. Jorge destroyed Nate Diaz. He knocked out Ben Askren. He went backstage in 2-pieced with the soda Leon Edwards, you know what I'm saying? Like, Jorge was riding some crazy momentum, then fucking Usman shuts it down, then rematches him, then knocks him out, you know? Then he beat the hell out of Strickland, which just ages like fine wine, brother, you know? And then the RDA win, great win. Leon Edwards early in the career, Maya, like, this is the best win streak ever. Look at this fucking, are you kidding me? Look at this win streak resume. Like, it's crazy. Then his only losses are Leon twice. And then one of them, the fluke head kick, you know. And then the Hamza fight was a draw, let's be honest. The Hamza fight was a draw, man. And yes, 15-fight win streak, tied second all time. I just got to give Usman his respect, though. Like, crazy win streak. I think maybe if Islam wins another one, I'll put him number 6 or something. But we'll see what Usman's doing. I don't even know what Usman's doing. I feel like Usman's retired now. It's kind of sad to say that. I just don't know what he's doing. I know he's hurt trying to get healthy, but, brother, I need to see you fight, brother. Please, brother, for my sake. Now we're in the top 5 greatest UFC fighters of all time, though. In the number 5 spot, we got Demetrious Johnson. Of course, his best wins: Cejudo, Moraes, Benavidez, Dobson, Tim Elliott, this, that, and the third. I know it's not that deep in schedule, but the Moraes win was in a whole different promotion. It was great wins. He beat him twice. You know, Cejudo, great win. Benavidez. And then his losses were Cejudo, Cruz, Pickett, and Moraes. Pickett win was, who gives a hell about the Pickett and the Cruz? Cruz was a different weight class, you know, but it is what it is. Cejudo was his loss, and that was a very controversial fight to an extent. Then Moraes, I think, finished him in the one. But he avenged that back-to-back. And then 14 title wins, though. 11 consecutive title defenses and a 13-fight win streak. This guy's a pinnacle, bro. Who's better than this guy, brother? Let's be real. He's like just a very complete fighter. And, brother, you'll like or you don't like, respect my guy, Demetrious Johnson. I have in top 5. All right, now number 4 spot. I used the black and white picture here. Like, oh, my God. Like, I'm trying to make you guys think he's like an old head, you know, from 1922. GSP, man. Hughes, Serra, Diaz, Condit, Bisping, Hendricks with a question mark because he lost to Hendricks, but I'm not going to say that. And then losses to people named Matt. If your name is Matt, I think the probability of GSP losing goes up by like 70%. Something about Matt, but he always beat them in a rematch, so it's all good. And then, of course, 13 title wins, 11 consecutive defenses, similar to Demetrious Johnson in the title defenses. DJ had one more title win than him, but the major difference here is that he was a double champ. Went up and beat Michael Bisping. Michael Bisping was like the easiest ticket to a double champ, and he took it, and he made sure not to fight Whitaker. Like, he took it against Bisping, didn't fight Romero or Whitaker, and he dipped. Smart. GSP's a smart guy, but yeah, just enjoy this black and white Bruce Lee-esque picture of GSP, man. I took me a long time to find this picture and just put it here, so respect it, bro. It took me like 5 seconds. All right, top three now. This is the top 3 greatest fighters of all time. In the number 3 spot again, I have to say DC. Look at DC standing up, bro. I try to make him look as slim as possible. Then, like, I didn't want him to look like a blob, man. So I made him stand up, like, get a full body picture of DC. He was so old in this, I think. All right, anyways. All right, for real. Best wins: Rumble, Gus, Stipe, Bigfoot. Yeah, Bigfoot Silva. Don't forget, man. Derek Lewis, the most knockouts, dude, and in big country, dude. Heavyweight division kind of sucked, but his only losses against the 2 GOATs in, like, in almost their respective division, a lot of people say. Some people think Stipe is the heavyweight GOAT. He lost the heavyweight GOAT when he was like 49 years old, dude. He lost when he was old as hell. As Lucas Tracy said, statistically permissible to lose. Like, all that crazy he's saying. Like, he lost him when it was okay to lose. Like, it's okay to lose to Stipe at the age of 49, bro. The age is 57, And then the Jones loss. He lost to Jones once, technically on paper, because the other time he cheated and took steroids. DC did good. DC's a scrapper, though. Like, if you're losing to 2 people who are known as being the greatest, one the greatest of all time, the other one the greatest in his division, you got to respect that. And he's a double champion defending both belts. Only him and Cejudo have ever done that as men in the UFC, so you got to respect that, too. And then 7 title wins. He never really got momentum for title defenses because Jones was he just had Jones in that division. He did get at least he got a heavyweight title defense against was it Lewis? Yeah, I think it was Lewis. Easy ass title defense. But DC, you gotta respect him. I always show DC respect because I feel like he's the forgotten one when everyone's talking about the GOATs, because he lost to Jones and Jones was on steroids and Jones is the GOAT. Like, respect DC. And now in the last 2, number 2, I had to do this. Khabib Nurmagomedov. My other one, I did say Jones, but my whole basis was just like Jones took steroids, yeah, but I think people don't give a fuck about steroids. I personally still think Khabib's my GOAT, but just looking at his resume and all that, I do got to give it to Jones. So Khabib, he beat RDA, which is his best win that people don't talk about. McGregor as well, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson can knock out people like Dustin Outcold, so don't say, why are you putting him there? Barboza. I didn't even say that fucking accountant, bro. Quinta. People forget, man. He's the best. And then losses none. Losses none, baby. We don't lose, brother. We don't lose, brother. Doesn't matter. Ireland, Brooklyn, New York, or Moscow. Come, tell me. So yeah, no losses. And then 13-fight win streak, 4 title wins. Brother, this guy is crazy. And then dominance. You guys know my criteria is resume and dominance. His dominance is so high, he could just exceed 90% of people. And his resume is very slept on. People don't talk. People say he left too early, but he's top 4 all time in longest win streaks. How is someone who left too early top 4 all time for longest win streaks? That shows how good he is. He might have not been there for a long time, but he's still in the history books. I respect this guy. You better respect him. And of course, number 1, we got chubby heavyweight Jones, and of course DC, Gus, Machida, Shogun, Gon, Rampage, Rashad Evans. He beat a lot of people. I could keep going. Losses none. Reyes. Losses none. But Reyes. Double champ status. I almost forget that he's double champ sometimes, because like I don't know. I'll be real. Glaze aside, he's done everything, man. From like beating up people outside the octagon to inside, and then just doing every accolade inside. 22 wins in a row from 2008 to 2024. When I say in a row, of course he had the loss with the 12-6 and the other shit he does. But 22 wins from 2008 to 2024. Like, he never lost since then. It's crazy, bro. This guy's a little bit weird, So, yeah, he's good. He's really a great fighter. It sucks that he's his worst enemy, but, man, this is my GOAT list. I think I did better on this GOAT list than my last one. Let me know what you guys... No matter what, though, I've noticed with GOAT lists, no matter what you say and what you do, people will always, like, hate your opinion because everyone has their own GOAT list in their head, so you can never make anyone happy for your GOAT list. But, brother, I make myself proud, brother. This is what matters. But, yeah, this is my GOAT list. Let me know what you guys think down below if you will switch anyone. But that's it for me. Have a good one, and God bless. 2, 3.